sometimes, though, the preseason, while a dress rehearsal, it can sometimes be an audition.
Yep.
And I think we're watching one right here, right now, with about 2 minutes left in the third quarter as the Houston Texans take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that is the audition of one player who wears number 1, Justin Fields, or used to wear number 1, rather, Justin Fields.
Yep. And I'm pulling for him. I think he should be the starter in this situation if you got him there. I just think Russell Wilson is just past his time. And I said that 2 years ago when Denver made the move to go get him. But not a bad day, but as Rob G came in doing one of the commercial breaks and said he's just either up here or he's down there. And it's very true. He's either up here or he's down here. I think being in Pittsburgh, they have such a great culture and a great coaching staff. If there's anybody who I think can really reel this kid in and work with him and turn him into the starter that I believe he still can be, I think it is right there.
Here, let's hear what he did. Let's hear what he did tonight.
Justin Fields, very efficient, 5 of 6 for 67 yards, 11.2 yards per attempt, which is great. Passer rating of 113. He also was sacked twice and fumbled twice, just bobbling the snap. It wasn't a bad snap, just dropped the snap.
And he's just got to get used to that too, Rob G, because he's a guy that, when he's at Ohio State, is RPO. Everything is so spread. Nowadays, it's really hard for, to bring a guy into the NFL from college who's been taking snaps from underneath the center all through college. You just don't see it. That's no excuse for him. So you gotta. He's
been in the NFL for 3 or 4 years now.
Absolutely. And guess what? In Chicago, they ran a lot of shotgun RPO. Because you're told to fit your system around your quarterback, right? You do what he does well at, but Pittsburgh is a power running team, right? You got Najee Harris, you got some other guys there run the football, and it's their culture, it's their history. You think about the Steelers for the last 40, 50 years, right? Yeah, Franco Harris, and then it goes, if you guys remember Barry Word, who was a top rusher in his time, battling Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders in the 90s, and then you had the bus, Jerome Bettis, and then you had Le'Veon Bell. I'm missing somebody. Didn't LeGarrette Blount go there and run well for a season?
Moment.
Or for a moment there. So they want to run the football and be more physical. The best way to do that, in my opinion, in football is to get underneath the center. RPO, when I watch teams run out of the RPO, I'm like, God, you don't understand the advantage you're giving the defense. You really don't. You don't get the advantage you're giving them by running everything from the RPO position. So I'm pulling for him. I think it's a decent night, but it is an audition. Now, he's been taking most of the first team reps because Russ had the calf, was it? Russ had the
Do you know how he hurt his calf?
No, because I don't care, but go ahead. Not to be a smart ass, but but.
So Mike DeFabo, we had on, what was it, Wednesday? It was Wednesday on The Odd Couple, right, as I was filling in for Rob, Pittsburgh Steelers beat writer for The Athletic. He says they were pushing a tackling sled. The conditioning coaches had Russell Wilson pushing a tackling sled, and that's how he hurt his calf. Now,
I don't know about that.
No. I don't
know about having Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, when's the last time you saw Russell Wilson on a lead block?
Ever. No, ever.
What does Russell Wilson need to push a tackling sled for?
Well, now, hold on now. This is also the same franchise that leaked that Justin Fields could possibly return kick. You're right. Okay.
That was Jaylen Warren on a podcast. I think that's a little different.
Well, hey, listen, somebody said it to him. And I said that on our show. He didn't just go.
He also just might have been talking out the left.
Well, true. That happens with a lot of these guys today.
You got to be careful with the podcast.
But it was out there. Even if you're a teammate, why would you say that? Why would you say that Justin Fields could return? You ever heard anybody think to put Mike Vick back at kick return or Randall Cunningham at punt return? No, that's not even something you say. But I thought a decent audition tonight. He is auditioning, in my opinion. This is not a foregone conclusion that this is Russell Wilson's starting quarterback job. I think that this is a legit audition. And I think that whoever if they think can take them into this season, they're in a tough division. They're in a super tough division. You're talking 3 teams that could possibly all make the playoffs, right? There's 3 teams out of this division that can. You got the Ravens, you got the Bengals, Joe Burrow's back, and you got Cleveland. They get Deshaun back, and they were in the playoffs last year without Deshaun Watson. So tough division. They got to figure it out. I was surprised to see him getting as much burn as he was until it's like, oh no, the thought set in. Oh no, they got to see. They got to get him out there. You can't. Why would you play the third guy? Because Russell's not going to play tonight, so you're not going to play the third guy till later. So you might as well play the guy that's been getting the 1 reps, and that's been Justin Fields. So I'm happy with it.
I got a question for you guys because obviously you're both pulling for Justin Fields to get the starting job there in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Our Fox Sports Radio weekend teammate Carmen Vitale said today on First Things First that with Justin Fields in Chicago, the issue there was no structure around him. It was an unstable franchise, a lot of chaos, and he had to navigate through a really tough situation. Pittsburgh is the exact opposite of that. Very structured. They've been doing things the same way for a long time, and it's worked out well for them. But what Carmen said, and this I want to get your thoughts on, is the fact that they're so structured is actually what could end up being Justin Fields' undoing. Because, as you mentioned, VJ, something as simple as taking the snap under center, he fumbles it twice. Mm-hmm. Is that the kind of thing that, because Pittsburgh is straightforward, meat and potatoes, we don't need all the flash and sizzle, we just want to play Steeler football, could that actually work against Justin Fields? Because he has all the highlight stuff. What he can't do is get the ball under center, get the snap, complete a 7-yard out route, and not throw an interception.
No, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I think, like, the center's quarterback exchange, obviously the most important exchange in football. This is game 1, preseason 1, and they've been working in Russ with the ones as well. And who knows? Is this even the starting center?
Starting center.
You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't concern me right now. We could it's something to file away, but if we keep seeing it, then it becomes concerning. I think it only helps Justin. I think it only helps Justin because if you can simplify a lot of stuff like, drop back, 3-step drop, throw it there. If it's not there, then go. Like, in that structure that Pittsburgh already has, it's not going to be he's had how many different offensive coordinators in Chicago? How many different stories of his coaches getting fired? Remember, Eberflus, I know now he's got the best odds to win Coach of the Year, but he was on the hot seat for the first, 6-7 weeks of the season until he took over the defense, and that defense really turned around. So, no, I don't think that the too much structure can hurt a guy who makes one of his most highlight moments out of structure, because if he can master the structure, he's not going to forget how to, like, bootleg and run out. He's not going to forget how to run with the ball under his arm. So if he can figure that out, then that'll, to me, it can only elevate his game.
I'm with Martin on that, and the reason why, I'll add to this too. They've had guys out of structure before. Big Ben makes things happen. I'll take it back to the 90s and introduce you all to a quarterback from the University of Colorado by the name of Cordell Stewart that was so out of structure that they nicknamed him Slash because they just didn't know what he could do so many different things. And Bill Cowell said, listen, we're just gonna go what we have. Let's go to Colin Kaepernick with Harbaugh and San Francisco. Structure, right? Get it to the tight end Vernon, turn in hand to Frank Gore. But when it's time to make something happen, I don't forget that part of it. The structure is what's going to help the other aspects of his game that he may not have had or people don't think that they have. I think this is the perfect situation for him, and said it when he got traded here. This works out just fine if he can grasp what they need him to do. As my partner to the right always says on our show on Saturdays, Martin's favorite thing what a quarterback does is do what your head coach or offensive coordinator asks you to do. So if they ask him to do this and he can do it, like Martin said, he's not going to forget how to turn into Justin Fields when it comes time for Justin Fields. So agree with her on as far as the structure of helping him, but definitely not being a detriment to his growth.
Yeah, I mean, if he can sit there and just figure out the first, second, third read, which was a part of his problem in Chicago. But if, again, we're dealing with an organization here who last year, despite, I mean, how many games had it been since somebody threw for 300 yards for Pittsburgh? It had been like a calendar year. You know what I'm saying? It had been so long. And he kept going with Matt Canada, and he kept going with Kenny Pickett. This is an organization that shows if they name you the guy, they're going to give you every opportunity to not be it, right? And Kenny Pickett ended up showing every opportunity that he wasn't, right? So I think if Justin Fields can figure out how to maneuver that, the extra stuff that he does bring to the table as one of the most dynamic runners with the football in his hands, it's a reason why nobody was like, that's a bad the only reason why it was a bad idea when Jalen Warren said Justin Fields could be back there returning punt is because he also can play quarterback. But in terms of speed and ability, he'd be pretty good at it if they gave him a shot.
And also, too, Rob, fan base. That Chicago fan base, like you said, all the off-the-field stuff, coach getting fired up, that Chicago fan base, this Pittsburgh fan base, they were patient with Pickett. Like, they've won, right? So they're not in a rush to run a guy out of the door. This fan base, I think, will embrace him. And when he makes mistakes, they're not going to try to run him out of town like in Chicago where they ain't won nothing in so long. They need somebody. That's why people are picking Caleb to go to the playoffs this year. It's a feeling that they want. I think the Steelers fan base are like, yeah, we're rabid, terrible towels. We travel better than anybody else in the NFL other than the Cowboys. But this is our guy. We're okay. We're not going to hit the panic button.
All right, quickly. You're all both, again, very optimistic about Justin Fields. Some raw numbers that are not going to help your case whatsoever. Through week 17, before players started getting rested, Justin Fields was last in the NFL in fourth quarter completion percentage, 51%, 25th in yards per attempt, tied for 29th fourth quarter interceptions, 30th in QBR. Since joining the league in 2021, Fields is last among quarterbacks with fourth quarter interceptions, 16, 36th in completion percentage, 33rd in QBR, and 38 career starts. Fields has surpassed 225 yards 6 times. 18 NFL starters last year averaged at least 230 passing yards.
Chicago.
So everything that you need him to do, which is throw the football, he has not shown his ability to do that at all at the pro level.
You know what he was still doing week 17, though? Starting.
Yep.
Not completing passes. That's what he was doing.
Sean Payton paid $85 million in dead cap to tell Russell Wilson to kick rocks.
That's true. That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Think about it. He paid almost $100 million in dead cap space to tell him, hey, Russ, thanks for the memories.
When you get paid to go away, that's a sign.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a sign. When you get paid to go away, that's a sign. If a guy gets divorced and he's like, listen, here, take half the house, take half the alimony. Here's your alimony. Here's your spousal support. Here's your child support. Here's 40% of my 401k and half of my pension. Bye-bye. You probably weren't the wife you thought you were.
Or, you know.
Just saying. Just saying.
The Steelers traded a 6th-round pick that could eventually be a 4th-round pick. So let's just say 4th to 6th-round pick for Justin Fields. What'd they trade for Russ? Oh, that's right. That's right,
yeah,
nothing.
Exactly.
Because he was a free agent, and literally every team in the NFL had the ability to sign him, and the Steelers are paying him less than the Lions are paying Hendon freaking Hooker to be their starting.
Who got a concussion?
He did.
Yeah,
I hate to see
sidebar,
it.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, but like Hendon, you know what he's doing right now? Making more money than Russell Wilson is from the Steelers. Now, Russell Wilson's check at the end of the day is going to be nice, but that's all coming from the Denver Broncos.
I think Justin Fields wins this job, Rob. I really do. I think Justin Fields week 1 is the starter here. And I think that's the smart route to go.
I think he's going to win it in camp.
Oh, yeah. But week 1.
That's why he would be the starter.
Because all of the reporting has been that it's still Russell Wilson is the guy.
I think that's to make sure this kid keeps working.
And I think
it's a mind game.
It's not only that, it's also why make a story on August 9th.
There you go.
Don't have
Absolutely.
To. We don't have to make a story August 9th.
Guess what? Because it makes our jobs easier. That's why.
But not only that, though, but they're the Steelers. They don't do that.
Hey,
they don't do that.
But speaking of who's going to be the starter week 1, will this guy even be a backup? Highly drafted. Is he going to make the squad? Hey, I'm just reading the news.
Whatever.
I'm just reading the news.
Whatever.
I'm just reading the news.